This week on Halloweeny Wednesdays, we're making the quintessential Halloween robe. These things can be used for a slew of costumes, from Jedi Knights to monks, reapers, and warlocks. So grab your favorite living room curtains, cause it's time for another Halloween Wednesdays. Alright, so first you gotta grab yourself a good amount of dark material. I picked up these two 6x4 brown curtains at a local thrift store for the grand total of $9. The first thing you do is get your measurements. Start with the length by measuring up from the floor to your shoulders, then the width of your shoulders plus a couple inches for breathing room, and lastly the length of your arms. Once I had my measurements, I removed the lining and the hem of the curtains to create as much material to work with as possible. So now that you have your material ready, the first thing you're going to create is the front and back of your robe. Do this by taking your first measurement of your shoulders and multiply by 2. This I found was roughly half the width of my curtain, so I just cut along the seam down the middle. Then take the measurement of your length and cut both drapes accordingly. For someone around 6 foot, it'll be about 60 inches. Now take both pieces and lay them front and sides facing down on top of one another. Pin up the sides and across the top, making sure to leave gaps for both your head and your arms, and take it to the sewing machine. Now take the 2 remaining pieces of the curtain that you just cut off and fold them in half. These are going to be your sleeves. Make sure they're the length of your arms and measure out 12 to 14 inches on one side and 8 to 10 inches on the other. This will create the large cuffed sleeve on your robe. All you've got to do is pin down the length of it, sew, cut off the excess, and turn inside out. Next, I hemmed the arms and the neckline. Then carefully pinned the sleeves on, and proceeded to head back to the sewing machine. Alright, so all that's left now is the hood. You're going to want to grab your other unused curtain and double it in 2. Then decide how large you want your hood. About 16 to 18 inches should be about right. Then take the measurement of your neckline on your robe and apply it to the width of your hood. Mine was around 11 inches. Next, you'll want to trace out a hood-shaped pattern. If you're not sure what one looks like, just grab a hoodie. Otherwise, they're pretty forgiving if you don't get them just right. So once you've cut it out, flip it inside out and sew together along the curved side of the hood. Flip it back inside out and now line your hood up around the neckline of your robe. Then pin it around the collar and carefully sew on. Lastly, I threw a hem on the sleeves and I was done. Oh yeah, and the drapes also came with this handy curtain tie which I wrapped around the robe to complete the look, and poof, you got yourself some rad Halloween garb. Next week, make sure you check back for last-minute DIY costume ideas on our Halloweeny Wednesdays Slacker Edition.